Hi people, hello. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately, and I noticed that a lot of YouTubers, quite a number of YouTubers, have like catchphrase, like a greeting catchphrase. So like Adrian Houghton has, "What's up, everybody?" Jeannie Mai has, "Hello, honey." That's also the name of her show, but whatever. Yeah, there are quite a number of people who have all their catchphrases. So I'm trying to think of one. So if you have a suggestion, drop it in. Yeah, just put it in the comments. Let me know what I should have as my new tagline or catchphrase, like a greeting, like "hello, hello." I like that, but I feel like it's also boring. So let me know. Anyway, so today's episode, I'm going to share on my journey with depression, dealing with depression, but more specifically, suicidal thoughts. There was a time in my life where I did have suicidal thoughts, and yeah, it took a while for me to get out of that place. Thankfully, I never ever attempted, but I had those thoughts almost every single day. Yeah, so I'm going to take you through some of the things that I did and the things that helped me to counter the thoughts of suicide that I had, or the reasons I genuinely believe I ended up not even attempting to commit suicide, because I really felt like I'd come to the end of the road. I wanted to share with you the story, but I just did another, I just did a take before this one, and literally I was recording for 30 minutes, which I think is a bit long. So I'm going to really give like the shortest form of the story, just give you a background to what I was going through. If you really do want me to tell the story though, just let me know. Just, I don't know where you're watching this from. You can just say something on my social media pages or comment on this video. I think commenting here would be better because it's more relevant. I read all the comments really. So yeah, just if you'd really like to hear the story, comment, and then I'll do maybe an episode specifically on the story. But if I tell the story and give the advice, we'll be here forever. So it was 2016, and it was towards the end of the year, September, October, around there. And I went through a depression, I think until October. From, not, was it from September, like towards the end of September, mid-September, end of September, I don't really know. I wasn't like writing down dates. Till about October, really. So it was about 2 months or 2.5 at most. But those were the darkest 2.5 months of my entire life, guys. I'm not even joking. And the thing that made it bad, so I was dealing with some family issues, financial issues. My relationship as well was falling apart. I was seeing someone at that time who was going through some issues of his own, and so we were not speaking as often. And so he's the person that I felt like I would have wanted to talk to, the person who would understand, would be able to, be there to give me like a shoulder to cry on when I needed it or whatever. And he was caught up in his own bubble. So I felt like, wow, I really have no one in these streets. Yeah, just, it was really a mix of a number of different things. When one thing goes wrong, then the second thing, it's not one thing going wrong, like you've had like a bad day, you've poured some tea on your shirt, then you walk outside, then a car splashes water on you. Like, those are all very temporary situations, because you can change your shirt and then you will no longer have a tea stain. You like, or if you're already out somewhere, like the day will end and you take off the shirt and throw it in the washing basket, and that problem is gone. But it was problems that linger for a while, and they were just piling and piling and piling on top of each other. So I was dealing with like 5 different really huge issues that felt like there was no end. And then I got a solution. I had found a solution. I finally saw a light at the end of the tunnel, and it fell apart. Do you know when you like watch it fall apart? Like, it's like I tried that solution and I went 500 steps back. And that, I think, is the thing that messed me up more than anything, because I had been dealing, I had struggled, I suffered, and then I was like, oh, finally. And then I moved 500 steps back. So I was not only dealing with the same problems, but now dealing with a few extra problems, and then the guilt and the fear and the anger and frustration of failure on top of that as well. So it was really such a bad time. And I really struggled, because I would cry myself to sleep. I remember every single night, guys, I promise, every single night I would cry myself to sleep. wake up in the morning, continue from where you left off. Like, it was just such a dark time. And so I think after about 2 weeks of crying, I decided that it was not worth it anymore. I was like, guys, this can't be my life. Because you see, if you know, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if it's an experience that everyone has, but I know that sometimes when you cry a lot, like, you even end up getting a headache. So I couldn't stop crying, and then my head now is hurting. I have like this really bad headache, and I'm trying to stop crying, but I can't because the problems are still there. It was just a whole mess. So eventually in my mind I was thinking, you know what, it doesn't even make sense to be here anymore. I don't know why I'm here. It's pointless, like, I'm done. So I contemplated suicide on more than one occasion. I thought about it. I'd wake up in the morning and I literally was like, why am I still here? And I was tired of living. I was tired of having to deal because I was failing to deal. I was just tired. So I thought about suicide a number of times. So here's what happened. I don't know what it was. I really think it was some sort of divine intervention, because I don't know, God was really just rooting for me, and just, I think he would keep putting thoughts into my head to counter all the negative thoughts I was having. So I'm going to share with you a few of the things that I believe are the reasons why I wound up not committing suicide, and the things that I think you could use and go by in case you are dealing with, you know, suicidal thoughts and things of that sort. So for me, the first thing, believe it or not, was my mother. I was thinking about my mom. I was thinking about how I didn't want to hurt her. I was like, man, I put my mom through so much. Those are all stories for another day. But I had really put her through so much. There's a time in my life where I sort of just left home, and I know that she was sad at that time, and I don't know really what she was going through, but I think she cried herself to sleep like so many nights for a very long time. And I thought about it. I was like, man, Marlie, it can't be you again. But I thought about it, and I was like, I can't hurt my mom. I don't want to hurt her. Like, I loved her that much. I still love her, but at that time, like, I loved her that much that I was willing to make the decision to continue living in this pain that I'm living in, just so I don't cause her pain. So I like, every time I'd think, oh man, I need to end my life, then the thought would come back, but your mom. So I think one of the things that I would say that could sort of help you counter suicidal thoughts is think about one person. It just needs to be one person that you know roots for you, that you know is there for you, supports you, everything. I think each one of us has at least that one person. It could be a parent, it could be a sibling, it could be like someone you're really close to, or someone you know loves you. Sometimes people don't always say words like I love you, whatever, but you know, by someone's actions, by the way they treat you, by the things they say, you can just know that they love you, and they love you immensely. So think about that person and the fact that they might have to deal with so much. And here's the thing, guys, that's what life is about. It really is. Life, I think the thing that I've learned about life and relationships and everything is selflessness. Like, so many times you find yourself making very big trivial decisions based on how someone else might feel rather than yourself. And at the end of the day, in this particular situation, that's a really good idea for you, because you are allowing yourself a second chance at life simply because you've thought of someone else and how they might react and how they might deal. So for me, I kept thinking about my mom, and the thought of putting her through pain put me in more pain, that I was just like, I can't do it. I'm gonna stick it out. And so I failed. So I want you to think about, everyone has at least that one person. But maybe you don't, or maybe you feel like you don't. You know, it's possible that you might feel like, oh, I had my mom, or I had my sister or something, and then maybe now they're really sick, or like maybe they passed on, or maybe, you know, you fell out with this person, and so that could be the reason why you're dealing with all these issues and you feel suicidal and everything. But I want you to know that Jesus loves you. He really does. Whether you believe in Jesus or not, whether you believe in God or not, it's something that I want you to keep at the back of your mind if you're feeling suicidal. I just want you to know that Jesus loves you. I don't know how best to convince you. There are sermons you can watch online. Maybe just watch one sermon, you know, about, does Jesus love me? Like, you can type anything into Google and YouTube these days and get answers. But I want you to be convinced that Jesus loves you, God loves you so much. So when you feel like you don't have that one person that you can count on, think about Jesus. He loves you. He wants you here. That's why you woke up another day, even though you're going through all the things you're going through. That's why just he loves you. So think about that there's someone out there who loves you, is rooting for you, and wants to see you thrive. That's the first thing. The second thing, I'm really blessed and lucky and super grateful that I grew up in an environment where I was always being encouraged to plan and organize and think ahead. So it's something that I was always brought up with. Like my mom and my stepdad were always asking me, what's your plan? Where do you see yourself? What do you want to do? So I always, at any given point, I have at least a 5-year plan. I don't think right now I have like a full 10-year plan except for one specific thing, but at least like a 5-year plan I have. And so I kept thinking about it, like I would have these suicidal thoughts, and I'm like, but then all these children that you want to impact, the lives of the young people that you want to share, you know, that you want to uplift, that you want to empower, that you want to all of these things, they're going to miss out on something when you die. And then I kept thinking about, at that point I didn't have money. I'm like, your net worth is like basically zero at this point. You have no money in your bank account. You have, like, you're going to die having done nothing of significance. And it's like, oh man, I thought about it. I was like, I still have a chance to try again, to try over, to continue. I'm like, okay. Oh, then I kept thinking of stories of people that I've watched, people I've listened to share their stories when they talked about, you know, dealing with all sorts of things for a year, 2 years. People dealt with things for 3 years. They probably lived in their cars for like 3 years. They were so broke, and then one day they had their big break, and now they're so successful and doing great, and they can look back at the story. So I kept encouraging myself with that, and I was like, Marlie, it will end. I think the worst thing about life is that when you're dealing with problems, you don't know the expiry date. Like, I think it would be so much easier to deal with if you knew, you could see the end of it. Like, even if it's like 2 years and you know you're going to do this thing for 2 years, like, you can give yourself a pep talk through those 2 years and be like, Marlie, it's just 2 more years. Okay, we have 1 year left, 2 months left. We're almost at the end of the road, but you don't see the end of it. So sometimes it almost feels like there is no end. But there is an end. So I just really kept thinking about that, and about, oh man, I'm not going to impact all these people that I wanted to impact. I'm not going to reach out to them. I'm not going to. It just didn't sit right with me. I was like, man, that's not it. And then, yeah, really, that was it. So I think the second thing would be to think about and come up with a plan and a vision for your life if you don't already have one. If you do have one, be so devoted to it that you allow nothing to get in the way, including these suicidal thoughts. I think that it's important, it's a good idea for your plan to involve some sort of impact. It shouldn't be just very materialistic or very focused on you, like, oh, I want to have a posh car, I want to have a big house, or this, that, and the other, because then I don't think that's enough driving force to not take your life. But when you think about impact, and you think about legacy, and you think about the lives that you have the potential to change, like, if one other person out there didn't have to deal with whatever you're dealing with right now, you would, because of you sharing your story, or you helping them in one way or another, wouldn't you say you've done something with your life? So think of that one person whose life you want to impact, and it will get you through a little bit. Here's the thing, is that all this time, every day I had these suicidal thoughts. So a suicidal thought would come up, then it would be countered with, oh, but my mom, oh, but I want to be, successful, oh, but I want to impact the lives of people. So there was like a battle going on in my head. But you see, every time these other thoughts come up, then it sort of delays the thought and the idea and the action of me thinking about killing myself. So it might sound maybe to some of you like these are such vague, tiny little ideas, or it might sound like, how irrelevant, but I really, really want you to know and to believe that it has so much power, because literally those are the things that got me out of it. I was not even actively trying. They are just things that kept popping into my head that would take my mind off that negative thought for a while and just take me down that place of, when you start smiling, you see yourself in 10 years and you're like, okay, that's a good picture, let's keep going. Or you think about your mom and the times you made her proud, and the times she's told you, oh, I'm so proud of you, the times she said this loving thing, or the times she's, whatever, and you're like, oh, this is so great, this is so wonderful, there's a person out there that loves me. So those are the things I think that really worked for me. Then the third thing, which is I think really important as well, surround yourself with people. Surround yourself with people. Now, for me at that point, I was even too broke to leave the house. Like, I didn't even have a shilling to my name. I wasn't working, I didn't have a business, I had nothing. So I wasn't even able to leave my house. So I didn't have money to go anywhere. But I had phone calls, I had data, I was able to call people, I could call my friends, talk to them. It's important that you build relationships with people and have that one person that you can talk to, that you can just vent. Sometimes you don't even want advice, you just want to vent and then cry on someone's shoulder. And I mean, if you feel like you don't have people in your corner, you don't have friends, you don't have, someone in your corner that you can do that with, there's so many resources available these days. There are numbers you can call when you're feeling suicidal, so you can just talk to someone and tell them how you're feeling. There are numbers you can call for counselors or therapists, so just people, mental health advocates who will listen to you, give you advice if you need it, just give you a shoulder to cry on if that's what you need. Like, there are all sorts of people, so please speak to someone. Don't suffer in silence. I think that's a very, very important thing to note. The devil isolates you every time you're going through something. He makes you feel like, first of all, no one's going to understand you, no one's going to understand what you're going through. Don't even tell anyone. You're going to talk to this person, how can you talk to them? They won't understand, they've not been through it. Look at their life, it's so good. Meanwhile, that person dealt with that thing 2 years ago, and you are disqualifying their ability to help you because you feel and you've convinced yourself, or the devil really has convinced you, that no one understands you. The devil will isolate you and make you feel like, there is no end of this road. Like, it ends here. Like, this is it. Like, you're going to be in this spiral and this cycle for years and years and years, and that's not what it is. So please surround yourself with people. If you're able to physically go see people and get physical hugs and speak to someone face to face and whatever, do that. If you're not able to, call someone, talk to someone on the phone, share your story with someone, talk about it, but do not suffer in silence. If you ever need someone and you're watching this video, I can be there for you. I can listen to you. If you want advice, I'll give you advice. If you just say, Marlie, I just want a shoulder to cry on, I will put my shoulder there and let you cry. And I really mean this. I'm not just saying this as a thing. If you ever need someone to talk to, please reach out to me. Sometimes I don't check my DMs or my internet, or like my Instagram hides some of the DMs or whatever, so that would be the only reason that I don't respond to you. But other than that, I will 100% respond to you if you ever need it. But I cannot stress it enough. Please find someone to talk to. Surround yourself with people that are going to make you laugh, people that can distract you from your problems for just a moment, so that you are not so focused on the negative. You have a chance to smile during the day. You have a chance. I think for me, that was a whole period of like a month where I literally, my teeth didn't show, unless your teeth show when you're crying. Yeah, maybe, but I didn't smile, I think, for that like entire, I don't know, maybe I did, but I don't remember it, because it was such a strong, deep emotion that I was feeling, that I just, yeah. And then I think the most important thing, my last thing, which is something I didn't do, is I would say pray. 2016, I wasn't very strong in my faith. I've always been a believer in God, going to church, blah, blah, those things, whatever. But I don't think I was as strong in my faith as I am now. And, it keeps getting stronger and stronger, and I keep getting closer in relationship with God and everything. But 2016, it wasn't really there. So I didn't pray much. I think I did maybe once or twice or whatever, but not that much. And now I've seen the power of prayer, and I've seen how much it can do, and I believe in prayer more than ever. I believe in God more than ever, because I've seen his power work in my life. So I would say pray. It could really help you get out of it. Just pray. Someone once said that prayer, God gives us free will on this earth to do whatever you want to do, and so prayer is basically giving God the permission to intervene and to meddle in your life. It's saying, God, I don't know what to do. I've come to the end of myself. I need you to take over. So God is not this guy who is looking at you, and he doesn't want to help. We have free will. We can make our own choices, do whatever we want to do. And, sometimes the things we do hurt him. He's like, don't do that, my child, blah, 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 whatever. But when you pray, you give God the permission to meddle. You're basically just saying, God, I don't know what to do. I need you to take over. So just pray. Talk to God about it. Tell him how you're feeling. And then ask him for what you want. give thanks for that thing, like how you want the situation to end. Give thanks and start, praying and speaking about it like it's already happened. There is so much power in confession as well. So those would be my 4 things to overcome suicidal thoughts. Think about the fact there's someone out there that loves you. There is a person that you know, a close friend, a close relative, someone, and there is Jesus. He loves you more than words can ever even explain. Second thing would be, have a plan and vision for your life and focus on that. Every time suicidal thoughts come through, think about the impact you have the potential to cause. Think about the impact you may have caused already in life. Some of you have already caused impact in so many people's lives in positive ways, and you're dealing with thoughts of suicide because you're going through a dark place right now. But think about how much impact you have, how much influence you have, how much you've already started to change the world, and how much more power and potential you have. If you feel like you haven't really made much of an impact yet, think about how much power and potential you have to make impact, because we all have that power. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, surround yourself with people. Do not allow yourself to self-isolate for too long. You can take some time off for yourself to deal with your emotions, to cry, to whatever, but don't self-isolate. You must always find moments where you can surround yourself with people, be around people. Do not self-isolate. Then the fourth thing I would say is pray. Prayer is so important, and it's important that you pray. Those are my 4 things that I'll share on dealing with depression and getting over, suicidal thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you share this video with anyone you know that's been dealing with depression. If you know someone who's got suicidal thoughts, if you know, I don't know, I really hope you share this video. And this one, I'm not even looking for views so I can say, oh my god, I got so many views, but I really want this to impact the life of someone. If I can have one person tell me, they almost gave up, but they saw this video, they almost gave up, but then I said a thing, I'd be really happy. Just really, really happy, man. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this has impacted you in one way or another, or you think that it could impact someone that you know closely. Please share this video with someone you think would benefit from it, or really just with everyone, because you never know. Some people are really good at hiding their mistakes. Not their mistakes, some people are really good at hiding their pain and everything. Yes, there's a link. There are links in the description box for you to follow me on my socials: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, guys. It's really important to me that you subscribe. So please subscribe, like this video, give it a thumbs up. You can watch, all my previous videos and things like that. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for coming to my channel. Bye.